Hi Gemini, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your money and career reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and also to subscribe to my channel. And if you would like to be notified whenever I upload new videos, and I upload all the time, just hit the bell notification button. And if you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Let's let the bowls sing as we see what the tarot has to say. Gemini. Money and career, Gemini. Gemini. Money and career, Gemini. Gemini. Money and career, Gemini. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading. Fantastic. Okay, Gemini. Think of this as a tree. These are your roots. These are the branches, the foliage. Okay, so let's look at our roots. We have the Three of Swords, and we have the Two of Cups. Now, this can be that in the workplace, there are two people who are really super close, and we can be one of them, and there's a falling out that's going around here. Okay, the person that we thought we could rely on, we can't. They're bringing up old pains, old hurts, old disappointments, things that we've lived through that we don't want to be living through again. So do be mindful of that. But there's also a sense of healing through past pains, past disappointments, past angers. But there is a sense that if these two people are, who are as thick as thieves, are coming together, this is a time where you'll start to see them fracturing. We have the Seven of Pentacles and the King of Swords. Be patient. You are a king, okay? Be patient. You win. You rule. That's totally important here because there's going to be a sense of, I'm just going to give up. I'm just going to give up. I'm just going to go away. It's not fair. The game is rigged. And there's a sense of being patient. Divinity hands you your success, but it's in divine timing. It's not in your timing, which is annoying. We have a gift coming from Spirit. And it is a gift that is our soul's desire, but it doesn't feel like a gift when it comes. So again, it's annoying. It moves us then to the moon, which is Pisces energy, and a gift from God's source spirit. However, we see the divine, the universe, of love, of healing, of a lot of old heartbreaks, pains, disappointments being washed away. And that's really important for us. And this is the Minor Arcana Lovers card. So the Two of Cups symbolizes us in the Minor Arcana, but in a way that has a bit more fluidity to it, a bit more of movement, because the Minor Arcana isn't as set in stone or as powerful, one might say, as the Major Arcana. All right, now let's look at our chakra energy for this time. Gemini, money and career, Gemini. Gemini, money and career, Gemini. Angels and spirit guides. All right. Soul's healing. This is a time where it's going to be so important to heal, but it's going to be hard to heal. This is the soul star chakra located 6 inches above our crown. And there's a real sense here of letting in this light. But this light is also unconventional. It pushes us out of our comfort zone. It pushes us into areas of thinking or being that we might never have seen ourselves in. And it's like, well, wait, is this what I wanted? Is this what I needed? And the answer is, quite frankly, yes, it is. Yes, it is. But it's uncomfortable because so much of the negativity that has dragged us down, that has hurt us, our hearts, that has overwhelmed us, is being looked at here in a very open and honest way. And it's being released. But by being released, it has to be seen. And that's going to be one of the things that's really hard for us, is to see it, is to name it, is to claim it. And then to say, you don't get to be the anchor around my neck anymore. You just don't. And then it moves us to the energy we need to be mindful of. What is the energy that Gemini needs to be mindful of? Money and career. What is the energy that Gemini needs to be mindful of? Money and career. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. It's ourselves. That's it. We get in our own way a lot during this time. We get too much into our own head. We don't see ourselves as successful. We're always going to be pushing the envelope, pushing the envelope. Oh, okay, this is what I thought success was. Well, now, this is what I think success is. And it's like, when are we going to be satisfied? It's also being entranced by the lust of it all. And it can be that people, a person that we're working with, a person, if we have an inter-office relationship, just be mindful of that during this time. There's a sense of, is there something behind the lust? Because there needs to be, in order for it to be a powerful connection, in order for us to move forward in a really real way. And so the lovers is coming in and saying, be mindful of ourselves, be mindful of a trap that we're setting up for ourselves subconsciously. We might not think we're worthy of success, or we might think, oh, okay, because it's not coming right now, I'm doomed type of thing. And this is saying, look at yourself, look at what you want, look at who you are, look at all the beauty that you have to offer, even if you're not seeing it right now. Start to name 3 things, just 3 things, or 1 thing, if you can't do 3, that you like about yourself. 1 thing that sets you apart, 1 thing that you're good at. And you might not think that it can make you money. I mean, really seriously, you might say, okay, I'm a really good listener. Who cares, right? What is that going to do for me? Well, if you're in sales, you need to be a really good listener, or else how are you going to connect with your client? You know, even in any form of business, how are you going to connect if you don't listen? Our world is very good at talking. It's very bad at listening. So take it as the skill that it is. Okay, I'm very nurturing. What is that going to do for me? People just take advantage. Well, if I'm nurturing, I can make people feel special. I have that ability. Why not play up to it? Why not say, this is who I am? And instead of thinking, well, I'm not this, this like conqueror, all right? I have too much emotional empathy for that, then I'm worthless. It's like, no, not at all. Not at all. There's beauty here. And that's what we're looking at. We're looking at the heartbreaks, the pains, the disappointments, the hurts, the sense of I'm not enough that come in, and they're swords in our hearts. It's also the heartbreak of, why can't I be a part of this? Why can't, I have this connection? It could be somebody has the boss's ear. And it's like, well, why can't I have the boss's ear? This person is just saying nonsense. Step back. Step back and see what you want. It may not be the boss's ear. It's just to be respected. It's to be valued. Why aren't I valued? And is this a person whose value I really do want? Or is this person who, if they weren't my boss, if they weren't, in a position of power, I wouldn't care what they thought. So it's stepping back and saying, what do I want? Which sounds egotistical, and in a sense it is, but it is also astoundingly powerful. The 2 of Cups is embracing this sense of healing, this sense of coming together. And it's after heartbreaks and pains and disappointments and angers and upsets and denials. And it's like, no, I'm done with this. I'm done with this nonsense. I get to be more. So again, there's this real sense of breaking out of our shell, of getting out of our own way. And there's a sense of, kind of like every dog has their day. It's really saying, all right, what is this making me reevaluate? Because when I feel ignored, which can be the case in 2 people being as thick as thieves, right? And us feeling just completely locked out again, just completely ignored, and as if everything is suffering because of this, it leads us to a place of, I don't think this is a gift, right? But it can be the catalyst for something so much greater. It can be the catalyst to say, I'm not doing this anymore, or I deserve better than this. And starting something on our own, sending out our resume places, seeing what transpires. And as we do this, we have to be patient. We have to be, because there's a real sense of there's a payoff coming, but there's a real sense of I want it now. And I don't understand why things have changed, because that's part of the heartbreak here. Things have changed. It's not it's not going to be the same as it once was. And so we look at it and we say, oh, this is wrong. It's like, no, it's not wrong. It's just different. And there's nothing wrong with different. There's powerful in different. But there's also a sense of needing to step back and say, okay, what am I patiently building, creating, sculpting in my life? What is it that divinity is leading me towards? Where's my calling? Who am I? And it might not be that our life is filled with our calling every minute of every day, but it is a sense of there is more power here than I realized. And it's knowing that the harvest comes. The hard work is paying off. And yes, the harvest will be backbreaking work because that's what a harvest is. But it's going to be so rewarding too. And there's a real sense here of also seeing, okay, I'm not going to get the payoff that I want right away. Things aren't growing as fast as I want them to. So maybe it's time for miracle grow. Maybe it's time to pump it up, to put more time in. And we might be thinking, how much more time in my career can I put in? But they say, and it's statistically shown, that if you put 10% more effort into your career, you could make 40% more. And who doesn't want that? It isn't saying we work ourselves, to death. It just isn't. I'm thinking of my spirit showed me my grandpa. My grandpa always had at least 2 jobs, and he just always kept on pushing and pushing. It's not saying that, though, to give his family the life that he wanted for them. That's what he had to do. He had to work super hard. And so here, it's like a balance. It's a balance between working super hard and getting to not work ourselves into the ground. So it's going to be important to look at things and say, what's important and what's not? What do I want to go faster? And what is it that I'm okay waiting for? What is it that I'm understanding, that I'm building, that I'm seeing within me? The King of Swords, being us, we're represented by the swords in the minor arcana, we're represented by the lovers in the major arcana. We come out doubly here. You can't get higher than the king, right? And you can't get more precisely, pointing at our personalities than the lover. And so here, there's a real sense of, well, what do I want? Not what do I want to be able to show everybody? What do I want to create for myself? What is important to me? What am I building? What am I growing? What am I gaining? What am I understanding about myself? How is this transformation going to make me this badass? Because the King of Swords is the warrior king. And that's what we're doing here. We're embracing being a warrior of ourselves, of our desires, of where we want to be, of how we want to move forward. The King of Swords, he doesn't play around. He doesn't sit there and say, oh, well, maybe I don't deserve it. It's like, no, I want it. I deserve it, and I'm going after it. And it leads us to honing our skills. Swords are the only weapon in the tarot. So to be defined by the only weapon in the tarot, it's like, well, how does that set me apart from the others? There's a purpose to it. There's always a purpose to an air sign energy. If we don't embrace that purpose, we feel like we're floundering. Especially for Geminis. People always say about Geminis, oh, we flitz. We flitz, we go from one place to another. Well, first of all, it doesn't take Gemini very long to figure out where they're not welcome. So why the heck would we stay? Or to get bored with a situation, and why would we stay there either? There's a need here to also look at, where's my skill? Where is it that I shine? And why would I stay somewhere that isn't right for me? It's not jumping the gun, and it's not being not being unreliable. It's looking at things and it's figuring it out. And when we're younger, we tend to be more like this. As we age, if we don't sit and say, what do I love? What do I need? What does everybody else love and everybody else need from me? And how do I want to make them happy? It's like, no. Step it back. What do I need? What do I want? What have I been honing myself for? What is it that I always gravitate towards? What makes me shine? And it's saying, okay, I see it. Or this is it, but is it sellable? It is. There's a market for everything, right? There's a way of looking at everything that makes it valuable. Find that value. Find that value in ourselves. Find that value in yourself and let it shine. It moves us to the Four of Cups. It moves us to getting a gift that doesn't feel like a gift. It can be having to work for it. We want everything. We just do as human beings. We want to be savants. We just want everything to fall in our laps, to be absolutely, unbelievably gifted at something, and to all look like supermodels. Listen, if everybody just knew, the act of not knowing would be intriguing because it would be different. If everybody looked like supermodels, it would be the short people who look like circles. That would be the intriguing thing because it would be different. That's what we seek. We seek different. And so here, there is this sense of what gift is coming to me that is different. that is hard because it is different, that is challenging because it is overwhelming, but that is putting me on a path that I hadn't anticipated, that I hadn't expected. And it moves us towards our wishes, towards our goals, towards our desires. And this isn't what we cross our fingers and wish for. This is our soul's wish. This is our soul's hope. And there's a sense of looking towards it, of seeing ourselves more, of embracing our power and our intuition and our desire. This is also, of course, Aquarius energy. And it's interesting because Aquarius energy goes right into Pisces energy. So this is from January 20th to March 20th. We could have been going through a bit of a slump or having to face fears, having to look at what it is that we want in our life and then what it is that we fear and trying to figure out, where we stand. Because we've had to face a lot during this time in the world. And so here we're looking at that desire. We're looking at the spiritual and we're looking at the earthly. We're looking at our soul's need and we're looking at how we ground ourselves within our world. And there's a power here. There's a power here that needs to be called forward. And as we see this, it brings us to the moon. It brings us to our fears. The fear, the subconscious and the conscious self. The fear is, how will I achieve? The fear is of confidence. Can I be confident? Can I embrace what I want and not be falling down? Not be set back. We have the dog, which is the conscious self. We have the wolf, which is the subconscious self. We have the lobster, and lobsters, they have shown that a lobster grows in size in the wild, not, if it's fed something, but grows in size because of its confidence, because of its ability to produce serotonin. And so if we have that serotonin production, if we have that confidence within ourselves, it makes us stand taller. It makes us feel prouder. It makes us, walk forward. And what we're looking here is we're looking at what needs to be resolved within us, the conflict within us. And as a Gemini, we're represented by the twins. The Gemini also shows that there is going to be two roads to everything. And that's going to be something that's also important during this time. That there are two roads to everything, two ways forward, two ways of looking at it. There is going to be an inevitable and needful compromise within life, which may not be something that we like as individuals, but is something that makes us stronger because we learn it. And then it brings us to the Ace of Cups. It brings us to an emotional healing so that we can have success. And it's bringing up and it's dredging up maybe what we don't want to see, what we don't want to face, what we don't want to look at. But as it's coming forward, and it does bring sensitivity because of it, it can be that we're pushing ourselves towards what we desire, towards dreams and hopes and fears and longings. And what we see here is a sense of vulnerability. And we might have been trying so hard to outrun the vulnerability, but it's going to be what sets us apart. It's going to be part of that human element. We all want to be perfect. And what we don't realize is that a computer can generate something perfect. It is the human element of soul and of imperfection, of slight imperfection, that makes something exquisite. And so with our hearts healing, we start to stand more readily, more beautifully in our glory, in our understanding, in what we desire. And where it brings us to here is to going deeper. Show me more deeply. For Gemini, money and career. Well, define all of this. Yeah, money and career for Gemini. Define money and career for Gemini. Define money and career for Gemini. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. The Ten of Wands. It's time to stop looking at our own feet. That's the thing with the Ten of Wands. It's our dreams, it's our hopes, it's our desires, it's all the weight that we put on the shoulders. I can do this, I can do that. I can help this person out. I can take on that load. But it's saying here, stop it. Stop it and let it go. Make a barn fire at what needs to be made a barn fire out of. Give people their wands. Let people hold their responsibilities and say, that's your road. That's what you need to do. And it's looking at ourselves and saying, what dreams have I kept on the back burner? Kept hidden away in a closet, so that others don't tear me down, don't run away from the beauty that I desire, or the beauty that is inside of me, but that is different, and they may not understand. What do I want? Where do I want to be? There's a reason for all of this. And there's also a reason why we can feel like not heard at work. Where do we want to be? What are we carrying that we think this is it? This is as good as it can be. It's being realistic with ourselves. It's not saying, okay, well, I want to be, the CEO of a company and not putting the work into it. It's saying, what do I need? What do I want? Where do I want to be? What are my talents? What do I desire? It's being a bit selfish. And then it's looking at everything that we're carrying so that we only see the mud in our world. We only see where we're stepping, the dirt on our shoes, instead of the beauty of the sky before us. We're always picking up more responsibilities, more weights upon our shoulders until we're trapped like Atlas, holding up the world for the rest of our lives, holding up what we thought we should want for the rest of our lives. Why? It moves us to our spirit animal message. Gemini, money and career. Gemini, money and career. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. The dove spirit, be peace. Now, it's very interesting because we had the dichotomy of the Three of Swords and the Two of Cups in Taurus energy, okay, in the Taurus reading. And we had be peace, I believe, in the Taurus reading, too. Was it? Or was it the Aries? So there's a connection to the three of them. So if you had time, look at the Taurus reading just for this connection right here, the same cards that came out. Not in the same spot at all. And it's funny because I shuffle and meditate beforehand. But look at this, because there's a sense here. If you have Taurus in your chart, it's going to come out very strongly. If you are born on the cusp of Taurus, it's going to come out very strongly. And there's a sense of being peace in the midst of war, being peace in the midst of the battle, to have the prosperity come in, to understand divine timing and our timing, and to see if the two can collide in some way. Now, our subconscious spirit animal message is the canary spirit. Sing your own song. Sing your own song. So many people are singing everybody else's song, but their own. Stand out, be different. Sing the beauty of your heart. Know what you desire. It moves us to the subconscious chakra message, which is clarity, the third eye chakra. The third eye chakra is opening up. Clarity is coming. We're seeing things more clearly, more openly, more honestly. But it can also be very overwhelming because the clarity comes and we might not always be ready for it. The clarity comes and we're still trying to figure out where things went wrong or why. And it's not always going to be clear the whys, but the way forward. That's important. And as Geminis, we can get caught up on the whys and the how comes and the accumulation of knowledge, as all air signs can. There's a need for acceptance. There's a need to realize, it's kind of like the serenity prayer. Give me the strength to change what I can and to accept what I can't. And then to just move on, because it's time. It brings us to our subconscious energy message, which is Cernunnos. Now, it's so interesting because you have the coupling, you have the lovemaking right here, and you have the aftermath. You have the sleeping, you have the contentment. One is looked over by a deer, one is looked over by majesty, and the other is looked over by Cernunnos. And Cernunnos in Celtic tradition is the god of chaos. So it's like after the pleasure, and we think, okay, now I get to kind of relax in that pleasure. What is the chaos that we built? What is coming? And there's something here of every action has, a positive and negative reaction. What are we building? What do we need to be mindful of that can propel us forward in a way that isn't necessarily bad, but it brings chaos, because that's what chaos does. And that's what human beings are. We're programmed a bit for chaos. How far would that chaos go? What are we going to be chained to if we're not mindful during this time? And that's going to be really important. To go deeper and to define this time, the subconscious message is the hermit, is to turn inwards and look at the star, look at the light that guides us. But it's the star. It's the dreams, the hopes, the wishes, the inner desires. It can be through meditating that we start to see our inner desires. It can be that we step back and we look at, okay, what are we working towards? What are we valuing? What are we running away from? What values do we need to light our way again? And there's a sense of quiet here. This is also Virgo energy. August 23rd to September 22nd is the time frame. And it moves us then to our subconscious message for this whole entire reading. And it's the Nine of Cups. There's a blessing. It's not easy for us to see. Yes, you might think, okay, he's sitting there like a fat cat, like, oh, so pleased with himself. But that could be just how he's sitting. And he's also protecting his solar plexus. So there's a sense of not being vulnerable and also not seeing the gifts that are lined up behind him. This is a need to see our gifts. This is also the Minor Arcana wish card, to see our wishes, our desires, our hopes. People will be able to see this in us much more easily than we will be able to see it in ourselves. So be mindful of that. Don't sell yourself short. All right, Gemini. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we face our heartbreak and we make what was once devastating into some of the most fiercely positive aspects of ourselves. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Gemini.